It was a big conversation on Twitter today. Our friend Matt Moore put it out there in terms of like who deserves the most credit for the Celtics' defensive dominance and who could possibly be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation on this team.
Smart.
We had a little bit of this conversation when it came to Rob, but Smart was like on fire today.
Smart is the one.
Yeah.
Smart is the one.
You think
Smart.
so?
He goes
I'm
back-
still a
he's-
Rob
he-
guy.
I don't even think it's a question.
Well, he's gonna make
Really?
that team. He definitely makes the team this year after not making it last year. And in terms of getting that award, he's gonna get some votes for that, I think.
Look,
Yeah,
Rob
for
may
sure.
not even make all NBA defense. Smart will.
Rob will not.
Smart's gonna make that team.
Why?
This is going to be
There's
the best.
so many
opportunity
Jared
because
Allen, Evan Mobley. There's so many good big men in there who are going to get it, and that's without Gobert, who's automatic first team. Rob does not make Rob doesn't make all defensive teams.
He's not.
There's
not
too
going
many
to.
good players there.
Not yet.
So let's say we had to name a Defensive Player of the Year from the Celtics.
Even Marcus, it's tough.
It's
are
hard.
you telling me clearly? Because right now,
So
you're
you
always
think
gonna
Smart? You think Smart can win the Defensive Player of the Year?
I think he has the best chance of any Celtic to win it, and this is the best year he will have at ever winning because there really is no clear, undeniable. This is the best defender in the league. When you talk about Gobert, you talk about Mobley, and even some wings like Mikal Bridges in Phoenix is having a really good year defensively as well. But the thing is, there is no clear-cut front runner. There's about 5 or 6 guys who are all jumbled together, and Smart should be in that conversation.
From guards alone, I think you're always going to bring Holiday into the discussion.
And Bridges hasn't made it before. This would be your first time.
I think you're going to bring Jrue Holiday in there, and I think that he's an interesting one because he always gets the tough assignment in every single game. He guards the premium guy on the other team, so he's an interesting guard. I know Chris Paul is always going to get love among guards.
Not this year.
And not this year, obviously. So
damn, Sherrod, he's hurt.
No, you're right. He's hurt. So
Jimmy,
beyond that, I don't know who the usual suspects are. I think Marcus is an automatic. I think Marcus is an automatic for first team.
Yeah, you don't have a Kawhi Leonard, you don't have a Paul George, which those guys are going to be in the
always in there, right?
Again, they're not going to be there this time. That's why I'm saying this is the best opportunity he's ever going to have at winning that award. No Draymond, right? So, like I said, we just named
it would have been Draymond in a walk, but
we just named like the lock players that have been.
We basically named the 4 of the top 5 or 6 guys that are going to be in that conversation every year who are not going to be there. So that's 4 slots. You can't tell me that Marcus doesn't deserve.
And there isn't that dominant big man performance this year. I know everybody loves Rudy and the metrics are there. I don't think he's having that same defensive domination he had last year. So now all of the bigs, it's kind of a cluster, there. So I think Smart has a chance to answer the question, who deserves the credit for the defensive dominance. I'm giving it to Ime because it's a team concept, and I think the biggest thing that happened was that move from Rob away from the big man and out to the perimeter so he could kind of play that free safety role that unlocked the defense. Then it was buy-in from everybody else that was playing one night on, one night off. If we're going to drag a coach for lack of effort, which I think is sometimes not the right thing to do, when everyone all of a sudden decides to pick it up, something happened there. So, he got him there. He got it both strategically and motivationally. I'm giving Ime a ton of credit for the defensive turnaround.
Well, I think he got the top guys. I think he got the top guys.
I think he should
commit to. I think he should get some votes. I don't know if he should win in the award, but I think he should definitely get some votes for coaches.
Spoelstra's always in there. I mean, yeah.
And the thing about Ime this year is that not only has he been able to get this team headed in the right direction, but he's doing things that we've seen Tatum do on a basketball court as far as historically putting yourself in position among the all-time greats. That 9-game winning streak, that was the longest winning streak ever by a first-time coach and the longest winning streak by a Celtic coach overall in their first year since Casey Jones did it over 30 years ago. So when you are in company of a Bill Russell from a coaching standpoint, Casey Jones, those all-time greats, Hall of Famers, and you're doing that right out the gate, you can't tell me that you should be. Yes, and so the fact that Ime has put himself in position to be, in terms of success in his first year, with some of the all-time greats who've come through this Celtics lineage as coaches, that at a minimum puts you in the conversation with coach. And the fact that your team is trending in the right direction, and if we're being honest and real about it, is there another team in the Eastern Conference over the last 2-3 weeks that's playing better than the Celtics? I don't think so, because they're not just
last 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they're not just beating bad teams. I mean, they went into Philly and won by damn near 30 points. Joel Embiid didn't score a bucket until the second quarter. He
He sure
played
did.
Ja Morant toe to toe. He has outperformed Kevin Durant, who was healthy. That was a healthy Kevin Durant that we saw, and he still outplayed him. And so when you start looking at the body of work that Ime has done in terms of putting guys in positions to be, as we should have a drinking game, best version of themselves, drink up.
That's why he was hired. He just had to say that in the interview, and he was hired.
Exactly. So I mean, he's done what you're supposed to do.
Coach,
I love everything. He
love
walked
your
into that press conference and he told Brad exactly what he did wrong and what he's going to do different. And we were like, okay.
You know?
It just took it, but then it didn't happen. And naturally, people are like, maybe his voice isn't ringing out in there. So I understand the concern because you have a plan. And it's great.
We knew it was.
Everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face, right? You know, so like you start the season, and after 40 games, they're not doing any of the stuff I want, and then you start to wonder, like, oh, it's much harder than I thought. So the fact that one, we can acknowledge how hard it was to get people on board with you when you're coming in and you're a new voice, and two, then to watch it happen is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and you have to be pretty close to see it. He's been confident the whole way.
Right. He's never flinched as far as what his goals and objectives are. Even when everyone was telling him this isn't going to work, he's just like, I don't give a F what you think. This is what I do, and this is what they're going to do. Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Josue.
No, I was going to say, I think that's what resonates with the players specifically. Like, man, like this dude, the guy, cojones, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, and it's like we haven't seen that. We've been with Brad the last 3-4 years, and look, that's not a knock on Brad. It's just a different coaching style, and I think there was one that they were just stopped listening to. So and point blank, and after that, they needed a change, and this is someone that they believed in, and you could see that now in the results.
Every coach could take teams to a certain level, and typically, to get to that next level, you may have to go out and get a new coach. I mean, we saw that in Philadelphia. That was their thinking. Brett Brown could only take that crew so far. Brad Stevens did a lot of great things, but he couldn't get them over that hump, which is winning an NBA title. It's going to be a long time before people forget about that Game 7 collapse to Cleveland, which with a trip to the finals on the line. It's amazing how had they won that game, how the trajectory of so many careers, so many lives, including this organization, completely. Brad would probably still be coaching his team right now.
Rozier might still be here.
Rozier might still be here. Yeah, exactly. So you just know, but
Rozier in the finals, man. That would be
But Ime has come in and he has put his stamp on this team, and it did not look pretty at first, but his whole thing was, this is a seed that I'm planting, and it's going to grow, and this may not grow the way you want it to or how quickly you want it to, but damn it, it's going to grow, and we're going to start winning some games, and that's exactly what they're doing now.